Alistair Clarkson not feeling that content, getting the big guy back in defence. His premier tall defender Thomas gave it to Didak, kicks inside the forward 50, and Hodge takes a clever mark, spots a man running to space. Ladson draws a man in Thomas, who was late on the bump. Lewis eventually picks it up, kicks inside the forward 50, rough head just outside the 50 as he goes back to kick. The man on the mark is about 10 metres beyond the line, so I dare say he'll kick from about 48 metres.
It's a big unit.
That ball had left the vicinity. No damage done though. Rough head. Bending it back left to right and splits the middle. He's got 4.
Sorry, Bucks. Just really good movement by not only Roughhead there, but also Franklin. Franklin got out of his space. He leads across, opens it up. Buddy leads out to the wing, and then up through the middle comes Ruffy. But that's just a really good set of hands. He had Stokes front and square. It's not a bad setup. It shows that they're unselfish also.
So goal for goal in the last quarter. Every time Collingwood get within some sort of distance.
Comes back to Swan.
Again Didak, but that one ineffective. Quite worried out of it. Gillum to Brown, who started forward again tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what Alistair Clarkson does with Brown. He looks like he's going to switch him a bit from one end to the other.
But what a versatile player to use, though. If you need him down back, you put him down there, and if you can go forward, a lot of players can't play back and forward.
Great squares it to Hodge.
It's a luxury.
Some big numbers. Magpies have got numbers with Burns and Didak and Shaw, but huge numbers for some of these Hawthorn players tonight. Hodge one of them, along with Lewis, Mitchell.
Just no pressure here.
Well, Mark Williams is the only Hawthorn player not to have 10 disposals or more, and they've got 5 over 25.
So Campbell, Mitchell just off the interchange. He set it up early, didn't he, Mitchell, with those clearances in the opening term.
He's a wonderful player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Across the ground, this is Birchall. Mitchell is running, barking the instructions as he goes. Little overlap play. Hodge released on his left boot. On his best kick. Wanders down towards half forward. Clever by Lewis. Lewis looks down towards Buddy Franklin. There's a vacant square, but he goes to Franklin and/or Roughhead. Spilt it. Franklin gets the crumb. Kicks another goal. He's got 6.
They've got a real good understanding, and Buddy's happy with that because Ruffy nearly takes the mark and just lets it spill out to Lance, and Lance picks it up and kicks an uncontested goal.
What about Luke Hodges' kick just there? He decides to kick a banana on the run to Lewis. Lewis has had a wonderful game. It's 35 touches to him. Unselfish here, could have had a shot. But this is just good play. Buddy opened up the space for him. He deserved that goal. He doesn't miss those ones.
That man there, and I know his ability to build up a team when their backs are against the wall. Tonight was one of those occasions, but they've met Hawthorn playing very good football after last week's performance against Geelong. But there's some upside for Collingwood. They've just got to find that intensity that most teams in the competition know that they possess.
They've only been out of the 8 1 week for the year, and that was in round 5. For the rest of the year, they've been entrenched in that top 8.
Well, they've got a tough one next week too in St Kilda. Doesn't get any easier after that because towards the end of the year they all become a bit harder.
Hodge, seen a lot of the football in this final term. He's on the wing, steps Lockyer, kicks inside the forward 50. Franklin, some unarmed combat initially with Maxwell, and then went and found the footy.
When the ball's coming in as often as it is and the way it has, Nick Maxwell, I think he's done a pretty good job tonight. And Buddy still kicks 6, and he's going for his 12th shot at goal.
Okay. He is a remarkable talent.
Right behind you, all right?
One of the rarest we've seen in a while. on the 50. That's bending back perfectly. Makes sense of that. Straight through the middle.
Well, that's 13 goals he's kicked against Collingwood this year.
And I reckon Fev has got similar numbers. I mean,
I think it's 8 and 7.
Yeah, so the two leading goal kickers of the comp have had meals against Collingwood, haven't they, this season?
Yeah.
And the question is, does that come from the inability to match them up one-on-one, or is it the fact that you can't stem the midfield flow and the quick ball movement? I'd suggest it's a bit of both.
He's kicked 7 goals, 5, buddy. And a couple of out of bounds. Not a good night for the cheer squad tonight. And Collingwood with a 3rd consecutive loss. And we were thinking top 4, weren't we, a month ago? And now we're thinking, can they hang on to a spot in the 8? And Hawthorn the main dangers to Geelong? Or are we still thinking the Bulldogs?
I think the top 3 sides, but Geelong is certainly a long way in front of everyone else.
Mitchell.
He's going to go for 8 here.
So who gets the votes, Buddy or Mitchell? Or Lewis or...
Well, Buddy can kick another 4 in the last 3 minutes here. If he kicks 10, probably Mitchell.
He's kicked 9 in one match this year and he's kicked 8 in another.
Lewis has equalled his career high with 36.
See, there'll be a hard job if you're an umpire giving the votes. Buddy going and going. No. So...
If you've had a forward who's had 13 shots at goal, he's actually won 13 contested possessions of his own, taken 11 marks.
And that was a wonderful smother by the champ.
Fairly dominant performance.
Don't think we've seen a better athlete play footy, do you? I mean, I'm not saying he's the best footballer, but I don't think we've seen a better athlete.
Cooter's about the only one that comes to mind that was just physically and... There's Collingwood's run.
O'Brien, Loney. Out of defence by Brown to the outer side. Birchall, what a clever mark that was. Untidy hand pass though. A career best.
From what you've seen, Bucks.
2 for Lewis.
Sorry, Dan. From what you've seen, Bucks, can they make the 8? Collingwood, will they make the 8?
I think they're still capable of doing so. I had them at 7th at the beginning of the year.
It's becoming a Franklin fest at the moment.
Because I've always felt they've, as a club, they've had the capacity, because they rely so much on the intensity, they've had the capacity to have these drop-offs throughout a year. But I think their match style, it is. But the same thing happened last year, losing to Richmond and nearly to Melbourne, who were in the bottom 4 at that stage, and yet lost to the eventual premiers by just 5 points.
He's kicked 7-6, Buddy Franklin. And this one, will it work back? I think it will. He's got 8. What a big finish.
He's giving Collingwood a run for their money. 8-6 to 8-14.
That is remarkable. But words are pretty hard to describe this bloke. I think unique's about the only one that probably sums him up. He's just different. He's there's nothing that he's set in concrete about him. He just produces something different each time he plays, and that's what's magical about him.
Well, a remarkable performance by a freakish footballer.
And he was up early.
Finally, the margin 54 points on Friday Night Football. The Hawks led at every change. Lance Franklin booted 8 goals. Ricky